Okay, we are on week 10 from January to June, the road to exams. And I've picked this particular question. It's a numerical methods kind of question because I think that some of part A is a bit more challenging and I kind of want to talk through a bit of a technique with that. Maybe you won't find it hard. You might want to pause the video and have a go at this question if you haven't done so already. So it says that figure 3 shows a sketch of part of the curve C with this equation, very strange looking thing. Y equals x squared ln x over 3 minus 2x plus 4, and it's only showing us for x being greater than 0. And it says point A is a minimum point, turning point on the curve. Show by using calculus, in other words differentiation, that the x-coordinate of the point A is a solution of this equation. Okay, well, we'll come back to the actual show that part. Let's actually just do the differentiation for part A of the question. So we have y equals, I probably want to write this in a slightly different way. I don't like this thing being divided by 3. I'm going to write it with the third at the front, okay, so that we have a third x squared ln x, and then we have a minus 2x and a plus 4 for this. Okay, so I think for this beginning part, we're going to need to use the quotient rule. I'm going to do this somewhere over on the right-hand side. So for the quotient rule, I will do my u and I will do my v. So we have those two parts, and I'm going to differentiate the u and I will differentiate the v. Well, differentiating the u is easy. I'll pull the power down and I will reduce the power by 1. And ln x differentiates to 1 over x. When you do the product rule, you get those diagonals being multiplied together so that dy by dx is equal to these two things multiplied. So that's 2/3 x ln x, 2/3 x ln x. And then these two things multiplied. I'm going to write this out so that we have a third x squared multiplied by 1 over x. So that's all of the product rule stuff done. We still have to differentiate this, so we get this extra minus 2 and then nothing else. So because it is a turning point, we know something. We know that dy by dx is equal to 0. So 0 is 2/3 x ln x, and then you have an x squared being divided by x, so it's just going to become an x plus 1/3 x minus 2. Now this is where I want to kind of look at what they've given us, which is here, and kind of like work backwards with this and think, okay, how are we going to make what we've got here look like this thing? So I think my instinct is to take this part and kind of multiply it up like this, so that we would have x multiplied by 1 plus ln x squared is equal to 6. So we're going to have an x plus x ln x squared is equal to 6. Okay, well, I think there's a couple of things I can probably see that's definitely different between these. There's no fractions here, and there are fractions here. So I think a sensible thing is to take this equation and multiply everything by 3 to get rid of this. So that I have my 2x ln x plus x minus 6. Okay, well, that's great because I can now see that the 6 is here, and then I've got the other stuff that's going to be on the other side. So let me actually write it like I've got on the previous line. So I'm going to add this 6 onto this side. So I have the 2x ln x plus x. And what else have they done here? Looks like they've got this x ln x squared instead. Is that true? Oh yeah, I guess what I could do is I could take this 2, and if it was in front here, I could put it in as the power. So if I write that just a little bit more slowly, this is like an x multiplied by a 2 ln x plus x. And we know that this is, the 2 can go inside as the power instead. So we get x ln of x squared plus x. And we're basically now at the stage that they wanted, right? We can just factorize and then do the division. So working on the final thing they've given you can be really useful. So I said factorize. I'm going to also put it onto this side, right? So I'm going to get my x ln of x squared plus x equals 6. So x is equal to 6 over ln of x squared plus x. And you know what? Sometimes they're really fussy if it's not exactly the same way around. Oh, I don't think I've done the factorizing very well, have I? Why did I factorize it like that? Because it's not meant to be an x there. When you factorize x, that shouldn't be an x. That should be a 1, shouldn't it? So let's put that in as a 1, which means there should be a 1. And we know that they wanted it with the 1 first, and then the x squared part over here. So working on the answer, I know I've done this in a long, slow way. You might have been able to skip some of these lines, but working on the answer and then being able to meet part way can be really useful. So this is now going to become an iterative formula. This is now being written as this iterative formula here, and we're going to start with x equals 2.27. We're going to find the values of x1, x2, and x3, giving your answers to 3 decimal places. This would never be worth 3 marks in our specification, but you'll notice from the international papers where I've often taken these questions, they tend to be a little bit more generous with the marking. So if x naught is 2.27, I'm going to show them just one substitution. It's going to be a 6 over 1 plus ln of 2.27 squared. But what I'm actually going to type on my calculator, I'll type 2.27. I'll store that now as the answer. And I'm going to type, instead of this, I'm going to type answer squared. So I'll do my fraction button, 6 over 1 plus ln of my answer squared. And I will get my first one to 3 decimal places, but I'm going to keep it stored in the calculator as 2.273. And then all I need to do is literally just press the equals button again, and it will put that answer straight back in. I then get 2.271. This is to 3 decimal places, and it wanted one more, so I'll press the equals button once again. That is 2.27253. In other words, 2.273 to 3 decimal places is, I believe, what it asked for. Yep. And then it says, use your answer to part B to deduce the coordinates of point A to 1 decimal place. Oh, coordinates. Okay, 2 marks. That means we need to find the x coordinate and the y coordinate. Well, I think this is probably just going to be enough. I could keep pressing equals, but what I need to do is find out the y coordinate by getting it all substituted in to this equation. So I've got it stored in my calculator. I'm going to just type now with my new answer in, I'm going to type this. So it is going to be a third multiplied by my answer squared multiplied by ln of the answer minus 2 of the answer plus 4. So the y coordinate is 0.868079, and they wanted it just to 1 decimal place, which is 0.9. And so the x coordinate to 1 decimal place clearly is going to be 2.3. They're going to just round to 2.3 in this question, okay? Which means the coordinates of A are 2.3, 0.9. Like I said, you could have just mashed your button and you would have got a really accurate version for what x is, and then you could check to 1 decimal place, it is 2.3. We knew part A was correct because it was a show that. We did get 2.271 and 2.273, 2.271, and then back to 2.273. And there was our A coordinate there. So generally pretty easy for a kind of iteration type question, but I think that part A was the part that I really wanted to highlight in this video. So for week 11, if you want to kind of get ahead of this, we're going to be looking at a differentiation type question where you have something as x in terms of y, but we want to have dy by dx in terms of x. So a bit more of a tricky kind of question here, and it could be the kind of thing that could come up in the exam. Okay, guys, I'll see you next week.